In a forgotten African village, there was a girl named Bimbo, and no one wanted to look at her, not because she was invisible, but because she was ignored. People walked past her like she didn't exist. They laughed at her, they mocked her, and they said she would never be chosen by any man. But what they didn't know was that Bimbo's life was tied to something far beyond human understanding, something ancient, something dangerous, something that would change every man who ever came close to her. Bimbo grew up in silence. While other girls were praised for beauty, she was treated like a mistake. Her body was thin, her presence dismissed, and her heart slowly learned pain. Every day she carried one question: will I ever be loved for who I am? But no one answered. One night, everything changed. At the riverbank under a silent moon, an old woman appeared, standing where no human should stand. In her hands was a glowing silk garment. It shimmered like living fire. And she spoke, "Wear this, and you will become what the world respects. But never remove it." Bimbo hesitated, but pain makes people accept even danger if it looks like hope, so she took it. When she woke up, everything changed, not the world, her. She was no longer ignored, no longer invisible. She was unforgettable. When she walked through the village, people stopped breathing, men stared, women whispered, and Bimbo realized something terrifying. She was now seen by everyone, but understood by no one. At first, it felt like a blessing. Men approached her. Some became wealthy overnight. Some rose in status. Some gained sudden fortune. But after that, they changed. They disappeared. They fell. Or they lost everything. Bimbo became a mystery, a blessing to some, a curse to others, but never normal. Then came Ola, a quiet man, not greedy, not loud, not afraid. He didn't look at Bimbo like a prize. He looked at her like a person, and for the first time, Bimbo felt safe. He stayed. He listened. And slowly, love began to grow. Against everything, they became husband and wife. Silk did not stay silent. The river changed. The winds grew restless. Ola's life began to shift in ways he could not explain, and Bimbo finally understood the truth. The silk was not a gift. It was a judgment. It punished greed. But even love was not safe. Ola never blamed her, not once. Even when everything got worse, he stayed. And that hurt Bimbo more than anything, because for the first time, she had something she could lose. The village whispered again, "She destroys every man she loves," and Bimbo began to fear herself. One night, she returned to the river, the place where it all began, the same silence, the same mist, the same unseen presence. She looked at the silk, and for the first time, she saw it clearly, not as beauty, not as power, but as a chain, and she made her decision. She removed it and threw it into fire. The river screamed, the wind roared, and the silk disappeared. The curse was finally broken. Morning came softly, no storms, no fear, no whispers, only peace. Bimbo was no longer powerful, but she was free, and Ola was still there, not because of magic, but because he chose to stay. They walked back into the village together, no longer feared, no longer worshipped, just human. And for the first time, the village looked at them differently, not with judgment, but silence. Time passed, and their life became simple, peaceful, real, and one day, they held a child in their arms, a symbol that love survived everything. True love is not built on beauty, or power, or magic. It is built on sacrifice, on patience, on the choice to stay, when leaving is easier. But remember this, Not every gift that gives you greatness was meant to give you peace. Some gifts must be let go before they consume the heart completely.